Parker, let's do it.
Whether it's logistics, a hostile environment, or a determined director, movie productions often face serious challenges. Today on Collider, we're looking at 5 movie scenes that were exceptionally difficult to create.
I think I have a superhero stalker.
I was in the neighborhood.
Number 5. Peter Parker and the Lunch Tray. In the early 2000s, superhero films often felt more grounded than they do today, partly due to their heavy reliance on practical effects. One pioneer of the genre, Sam Raimi, was known for his preference for practical techniques in his horror films, and he carried this approach into his Spider-Man trilogy, sometimes to almost comical extremes. A prime example is the cafeteria scene where Peter Parker catches Mary Jane's falling lunch tray.
Wow, great reflexes.
At first glance, it might seem mundane, but the effort behind the shot was anything but. Kirsten Dunst revealed that no CGI was used. Tobey Maguire actually caught the tray, aided only by a bit of sticky gel to keep it in place. The process was grueling, requiring 156 takes and nearly being cut altogether. As Dunst explained, the studio had wanted us to cut the tray part because we had to trim some time, but Sam and I really wanted it, so we said we were going to do it anyway. The shot ultimately took 16 hours to perfect, but it was worth it. The moment not only showcased Raimi's dedication to practical effects, but also served as a memorable start to Peter and MJ's relationship.
Here he comes, get a quick picture. Sure.
Number 4. Barrel of Monkeys. Practical effects aren't exclusive to early superhero films. While much of the Iron Man trilogy relies on green screens for its high-flying action, Iron Man 3 director Shane Black took a bold approach for one of the movie's most intense and memorable scenes. Fittingly, Tony Stark's greatest feat of heroism was also a masterpiece of stunt work.
How many in the air? 13, sir.
The Barrel of Monkeys scene, where Iron Man saves 12 civilians falling from a plane, was filmed using the Red Bull skydiving team. The team, including the camera operator, performed actual jumps, with costumes layered over jumpsuits to match the characters. While the plane was redesigned to resemble Air Force One and the background digitally altered to reflect Miami, the mid-air stunts were entirely authentic. Since Iron Man's suit was CGI, one skydiver wore a red and gold outfit, serving as a stand-in for Tony Stark, later added digitally in post-production. The logistics of the shoot were staggering. Over 6 days, the team jumped from 12,000 feet, about 1.5 miles up, 7 to 8 times a day. Capturing consistent lighting in North Carolina's changing conditions was an added challenge. To achieve the precise choreography of civilians holding hands mid-fall, the stunt team had to perfect their timing and positioning in free fall. Additionally, the camera operator had to dive alongside them, filming in real time while maintaining the clarity and precision needed for a cinematic sequence. Out of the 300 shots captured, 250 made it into the final cut, creating a sequence that feels visceral and grounded despite its superhero context. This scene not only showcases Shane Black's commitment to practical effects, but also stands as a testament to the expertise and dedication of the stunt team. It's a breathtaking moment that elevates the film and highlights how practical effects can bring even the most fantastical stories to life.
Okay, let's talk.
Number 3. Here's Johnny. A generation after his death, Stanley Kubrick's reputation as a perfectionist continues to fuel numerous stories about his directorial methods. The Shining is often cited as a prime example, with various urban legends about its production still circulating. One common myth suggests that scenes like Wendy swinging the bat at Jack or Dick explaining The Shining to Danny required hundreds of takes. In reality, production notes reveal only several dozen takes for these scenes. Kubrick himself dismissed the most extreme rumors in a 1987 Rolling Stone interview, stating, "If I did 100 takes for every scene, I'd never finish a film." That said, The Shining was undeniably grueling for the cast, with lengthy shoots being the norm. The most infamous example is the iconic Here's Johnny scene, where Jack breaks down the bathroom door with an axe.
Here's Johnny!
Filming this sequence took 3 days and destroyed 60 doors in the process. Adding to the film's technical achievements, The Shining was among the early films to utilize the Steadicam, a stabilizing mount for motion picture cameras. Kubrick collaborated with Garrett Brown, the inventor of the Steadicam, to achieve smooth tracking shots, notably during Danny's tricycle rides through the Overlook Hotel's hallways. This innovative use of the Steadicam allowed for fluid movement in tight spaces, contributing to the film's unsettling atmosphere. Furthermore, Kubrick's meticulous attention to detail extended to the typewriter pages Wendy discovers, which repeatedly state, "All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy." For international versions of the film, Kubrick had these pages translated into different languages, each using a suitable idiom to maintain the scene's impact. This dedication to authenticity, even in minor details, exemplifies Kubrick's commitment to his craft.
There's a meteorite that hit the ground near here. I want to check it out. It won't take long.
Number 2. White Hell on Hoth. Today, Star Wars rivals even Marvel in its groundbreaking use of special effects, with recent installments utilizing advanced technologies like the volume. However, when the original trilogy was made, filmmakers relied on real sets and practical effects. While most locations, like the deserts of Tunisia for Tatooine or the forests of the Pacific Northwest for Endor, were manageable, one environment tested the cast and crew to their limits: the icy world of Hoth.
And then fall over. How can they laugh in this weather?
For the rebels, Hoth was tough to survive, and for the crew, Norway's harsh weather was just as challenging. The location experienced up to 18 feet of snow, constant avalanches, and brutal temperatures, often making transportation and logistics impossible. Scenes inside the rebel base were filmed in London's Elstree studios, but challenges persisted there too. Temperatures on set could soar to 100 degrees, and the crew faced a tight schedule as they accommodated The Shining, whose production moved to the studio after a fire destroyed one of their sets. Recruiting extras to play rebel soldiers in the trenches was also difficult due to the harsh conditions. Practical effects further added to the challenges. The Wampa that attacked Luke was created as a puppet because a suit would have been too hot and heavy for an actor to wear, especially when mounted on stilts. Similarly, the Tauntaun Luke shelters in was a full-scale model, carefully constructed for the scene. These labor-intensive solutions highlighted the ingenuity required to bring the Battle of Hoth to life. Despite the difficulties, the sequence remains one of the most iconic opening scenes in cinematic history, cementing its place as a pivotal moment in Star Wars lore. The hardships endured by the cast and crew were well worth it, delivering a masterpiece that continues to inspire filmmakers and fans alike.
Tell you the truth, I'm a lot more concerned about that water being so cold.
Number 1. Death of Titanic. Few filmmakers rival Stanley Kubrick's reputation for obsessiveness, but James Cameron comes close. Known as one of the greatest directors today, Cameron is also a passionate submarine explorer who has extensively studied the Titanic. Combining his cinematic expertise with his fascination for the ship, Cameron created not only a massive passion project, but, at the time, the most expensive film ever made. Unsurprisingly, filming the Titanic's sinking was one of the most challenging aspects of production. One major difficulty was the lack of detailed knowledge about the event. The Titanic had only been rediscovered a decade before filming, and while it was known the ship split in half as it sank, the specifics were unclear. Cameron created multiple digital models to recreate the disaster as accurately as possible. The film Titanic depicts what we believed was an accurate portrayal of the ship's last hours, Cameron told Entertainment Weekly during the disaster's 100th anniversary. We showed its sinking bow first, lifting the stern high in the air before its massive weight broke the vessel in two. Over the past 20 years, I've been trying to figure out if we got that right. The film's sinking sequence captures the disaster from two perspectives, up close and at a distance. To achieve this, the set was constructed to invert, allowing stunt doubles to portray passengers slipping and falling to their deaths. The result was a breathtaking depiction of the maritime tragedy, combining epic scale with personal moments of terror and loss. The sinking scenes remain a testament to Cameron's dedication to authenticity and the challenges of modern filmmaking, unmatched by most movies before or since.
I'm so cold.
What do you think? Are there any big scenes we might have missed? Were the insane efforts of these filmmakers worth the results? Subscribe to Collider for more trivia about your favorite films and shows.